Have you ever really looked at self-made billionaires and just wondered, how? How did they really do it? It's not just about luck, and it's definitely not about one single brilliant idea. We're about to break down the 3 specific, learnable skills that have built some of the biggest fortunes in the world.
So what is the actual secret? Is it some genius idea that nobody else thought of, a wild invention, or is it just being in the right place at the exact right time? Well, those things can help, for sure. But the real answer is something way more fundamental. It's a set of skills you can actually practice and get good at yourself.
That's right. Getting to that level isn't some random roll of the dice. It really boils down to 3 core skills. It's a specific way of thinking and a skill set that you can absolutely master. So, let's dive into the first one.
First up, we're going to tackle some of the most common advice you have probably heard your entire life. Follow your passion. Well, billionaire investor Mark Cuban thinks that's exactly the wrong way to go about it. His method? It's all about focusing on your talent.
Think about it like this. You've got 2 columns. In one, you have your passions, the things you just love doing. But in the other, you have your talents, the things you're just naturally, maybe even unfairly good at. According to Cuban, your fortune isn't hiding in that first column. It's waiting for you in the second.
Cuban's own story is honestly the perfect example of this. He loved basketball, but let's be real, he was never going to be an NBA star. Then he stumbled into programming and realized, whoa, I have a real knack for this. And here's the key. The enjoyment didn't come because he was passionate about coding beforehand. It came from the pure satisfaction of being great at something. See, he didn't follow his passion, he followed his talent. He went all in on programming, built this huge company, made a fortune, and then used all that wealth to buy his passion, an entire NBA team. The lesson here is so powerful. Get amazing at what you're good at, and you'll earn the freedom to do whatever you love.
Okay, our second skill comes from the founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. And it's a mindset that pretty much goes against every single human instinct we have for getting things now. The incredible power of long-term thinking.
14 years. Just let that sink in. For almost a decade and a half, Amazon operated without posting any kind of major profit. Every single dollar went right back into the business. While Wall Street was obsessed with quarterly earnings, Bezos was playing a completely different game, a game measured in decades. Bezos used to say he was living in the future, always focused on a 5 to 7 year horizon. He poured every penny back into building infrastructure, buying up other companies, and mastering logistics. For years and years, the company showed almost no profit on paper. But when that long-term bet finally paid off, well, the result was total market domination. The takeaway here is so simple, but man, it's hard to do. Real, lasting wealth isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a marathon of discipline and delaying gratification. It's like building the foundation for a skyscraper, even if that means you have to live in the dirt for 10 years while you do it. And that brings us to our third and final skill. And this one might be one of the most powerful leverage points in all of business, storytelling. And there is no better place to see this power in action than on a high-stakes show like Shark Tank. Okay, so imagine this. You want to launch a cupcake business, but the market is completely flooded. I mean, there are thousands of competitors, and literally anyone can bake a cupcake at home. So how in the world do you stand out? Well, a team that came on Shark Tank had this exact problem. They had just 90 seconds. 90 seconds, that's it, to convince a panel of ruthless billionaire investors that their cupcakes, in a jar, were worth millions. They were never going to win on the product alone. They had to win with their story. By telling their story on national TV, their cost to get a new customer dropped to 0, nothing. While all their competitors were just bleeding money on social media ads just to get noticed, this team got millions of dollars in free marketing. Why? Because a great story is the most efficient way to get customers, period. And they didn't just stop at Shark Tank. They used that story to get on more shows, to get into more articles. Every single appearance was another massive and totally free advertising campaign. Their profits shot through the roof while their competitors were burning through cash just trying to keep up. That is the unfair advantage of a great story.
Okay, so we've looked at Mark Cuban, Jeff Bezos, and a brilliant Shark Tank pitch. But what does all of this mean for you, right now? How can you actually put these skills to work in your own life?
Let's boil it down. Here's your toolkit. First, stop chasing passion and start mastering your talent. Find what you're naturally good at and just double down on it. Second, start playing the long game. Think in 7-year horizons, not 7-day sprints. And third, become a master storyteller. You have to learn to communicate your value in a way that people simply can't ignore.
These skills aren't secrets that are just reserved for a tiny, chosen few. They're tools. They are sitting right there in the toolbox, waiting for anyone who's willing to pick them up and start building. So really, the only question left is, which one will you start with?